This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
You had 421 kilograms of fentanyl seized. That's enough to kill 55 million Americans alone.
To what extent can you consider race when you draw district lines?
This could end this week, or this could end at Christmas.
Browse Walmart and Sam's Club's offerings through ChatGPT.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. President Trump just wrapped up a rare press conference side by side with the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, explaining what's going on with ICE and the National Guard and the crackdown on crime. Trump first giving updated stats on Washington, D.C.
Within 12 days, it was very good. And within 30 days, it's been as safe as any city in the country. It's been great. Took out 1,700 people, got them out.
He says the nation's capital is a completely different place.
Everybody feels safe. You can have a child walk right through the middle of Washington, D.C., and nothing's going to happen.
Here's the press conference plot twist, though. It's not just Washington, D.C. Kash Patel announced a successful nationwide sweep that's been kept quiet, led by the FBI, called Operation Summer Heat.
In just a 3-month span, you had 8,700 arrests of violent criminals. You had 421 kilograms of fentanyl seized. Just to put that in perspective, that's enough to kill 55 million Americans alone. Mr. President, that in and of itself would be historic for a 4-year presidency. You did that in 7 months because you let good cops be cops, and you partnered us with the right people, the Department of Justice, to put the handcuffs on and bring them to court and put them in prison.
A few buildings away, it was electric in the U.S. Supreme Court today. A major case challenging aspects of the Voting Rights Act that could have a huge impact on the 2026 midterm elections in favor of Republicans. CBS legal analyst Jessica Levinson.
They're challenging a really big issue, which is whether and to what extent can you consider race when you draw district lines. And if you do consider race, and if you consider race maybe quote unquote too much, does that fly in the face of the 14th Amendment, the Equal Protection Clause?
Attorney Janai Nelson argued for new maps in Louisiana drawn by race.
The inability to elect black candidates in Louisiana on a statewide basis for a number of offices, there's never been a black person in Louisiana elected statewide, is additional indicia that race is playing an outsized role in the electoral process.
Benjamin Aguinaga is the state of Louisiana's Solicitor General. He says it's unethical to draw a political map based on skin color.
The court has always qualified its voting cases with the caveat that racial stereotyping is bad, the 14th Amendment forbids it, and in all events, it can't persist.
After 2.5 hours of discussion, the 6 conservative justices seemed to suggest they would vote to strike down a black majority House district in Louisiana, saying it relies too heavily on race. If the ruling goes in that direction, it would be a Republican win that could have huge implications in 2026. On day 15 of the U.S. government shutdown, another vote was taken in the Senate, and it was another no-go. Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich weighed in.
I suspect in the end, the Republicans will hold tough as long as they need to. Having been through these myself, this could end this week, or this could end at Christmas, but I don't think that President Trump feels any pressure because he's going to methodically close down the Democratic parts of the government.
A federal judge in San Francisco ruled today Donald Trump must stop firing workers during the shutdown. Unions calling the firings illegal. No word yet from the Trump administration. Meanwhile, some businesses are trying to help workers out. Pat Vitally reports from Detroit.
The Anchor Bar is offering free meals to federal employees during the government shutdown. Owner Nabi Ayad tells me it's about taking care of the people caught in the middle of all the politics.
We just felt it was prudent to help them out during these challenging times.
Ayad says the free meals will go through the duration of the government shutdown.
And from the world of retail, OpenAI is partnering with Walmart to let shoppers make purchases directly within ChatGPT. Matt Piper reports.
Users can ask it for things like best mattresses under $1,000 or a gift for an avid reader and buy suggested products from within the chat. OpenAI announced the instant checkout feature in late September and launched with Etsy. Now using Using that checkout, shoppers in conversation with the AI-powered bot will be able to browse Walmart and Sam's Club's offerings through ChatGPT and complete purchases from within the app.
Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, a sit-down with Zohran Mamdani. Pennsylvania airports say no-go to Kristi Noem's new video, and a little more on New York's all-electric law set to take effect in January. But weather first.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Tonight will turn out mainly clear and chilly. Low temperatures 30s and low 40s. There'll be areas of frost. Tomorrow and Friday, plenty of sunshine, crisp and cool. High temperatures tomorrow into the 50s and high temperatures Friday near 60. And again, about the weekend, milder. We'll have some sunshine for Saturday, increasing winds and developing rains and showers than expected during the day on Sunday.
Thank you, Kevin. Check into stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. Fox News' Martha McCullum just did a wide-ranging interview a few minutes ago with the man who will likely become the next mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani, a self-proclaimed socialist.
I will not be a mayor like Mayor Adams, who will call you to figure out how to stay out of jail. I won't be a disgraced governor like Andrew Cuomo, who will call you to ask how to win this election. I can do those things on my own. I will, however, be a mayor who's ready to speak at any time to lower the cost of living. That's the way that I'm going to lead this city.
Mamdani has proposed another 2% tax on the rich, making taxes 52% for those making over $1 million a year.
So many New Yorkers look around at the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world and asking themselves, there's all this money, why can't I afford $2.90 to even ride the bus?
He also wants to freeze rent and offer free public buses, but has taken a step back from defunding the police. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem shot a video to be played at airports nationwide, blaming the government shutdown on Democrats. Pennsylvania said their airports are a no-fly zone for political messaging. Airports in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh are refusing to play the video, calling it a violation of the 1939 Hatch Act, which restricts certain political activities by federal employees to ensure programs are administered in a nonpartisan fashion. Closing arguments are underway today in the trial of 3 former prison guards charged in the beating death of an inmate at the Marcy Correctional Facility near Utica, New York. Prosecutors called nearly a dozen witnesses during the trial. The defense didn't call a single witness. The ex-COs face 25 years to life in prison if convicted. Crisp crisis. Chautauqua County continues to be in a parched predicament. The latest from Family Life's Mark Webster.
Yeah, drought conditions continue causing issues throughout much of New York and Pennsylvania, and in far western New York, the problem is growing serious. The town of Ripley's declared a state of emergency due to low water levels in the Ripley Reservoir, and now the village of Fredonia has issued a water conservation order urging residents to restrict their water use. Fredonia's emergency manager says people need to take water conservation steps seriously, warning the reservoir is in extreme danger of hitting a critical low point. Mark Webster, Family Life News.
As New York energy policy shifts toward all electric, one state assemblyman says he's still waiting for answers from Albany.
A lot of these goals are great, but they're just not feasible right now in a lot of our minds.
Western New York Democrat Bill Conrad.
With regard to the January deadline in the all-electric building, right now we're not 100% sure what the state regulations on building codes are going to be.
New York's All-Electric Building Act phases out fossil fuels in most new building construction, including homes. It's set to take effect January 1st of 2026. And there may not be gold at the bottom of Lake Erie, but scientists are still searching for treasure beneath the waves. Family Life's Brian Creary explains.
Researchers with the Ocean Exploration Cooperative Institute are mapping nearly 100 square miles of the lake bed along the Pennsylvania, New York, and Canadian borders. Using an uncrewed 30-foot yellow vessel called the LR-30, the team is scanning the depths off eastern Erie County to locate shipwrecks and uncover pieces of regional history. Brian Query, Family Life News.
Next at 5, how do Christians meet the challenge of answering questions from non-believers following the turmoil of the Charlie Kirk assassination? A sit-down with Christian counselor Chris Anderson and our own Mark Webster. Let's listen in.
Do a little bit of homework, too, prior to engaging unbelievers or even, honestly, believers who may just hold different political views than you. You know, find some scriptures or use a tract to help you locate those scriptures that might really help you to shore up in those areas that you feel a little less confident in, okay? And remember, because your confidence actually increases greatly with preparation. And you do know that Charlie Kirk spent hours studying constitutional principles, not to mention biblical principles too. He was very confident, obviously, in doing what he was doing to go into these hotbeds.
Anybody who tried to debate him quickly found out he'd done his homework.
They found out. Yes, they did. I also want to encourage folks to remember that if you got a coworker that you want to engage in one of these conversations, please don't do it on your employer's time. Be respectful. Honor Christ through honoring your employer's time. If you find yourself in a position where you're tempted to get into a conversation that's going to draw you away from your work, then please do it during a break, during a lunch break, or after work or whatever, to make sure you're honoring your employer and ultimately Christ during your conversations. And also remember, too, that sharing the gospel and winning folks for Christ, it doesn't mean that you'll have all the answers. I mean, come on. Do any of us have all the answers to all the questions that could potentially be asked?
Last I checked, no.
No, that's a big check no in my box, too, there. But you know what? You don't have to have all the answers. And you know what? That's okay. Don't be afraid to do some additional research or homework and then follow up with folks. And it's okay to say, I don't know the answer to that. Do you mind if I do a little research and get back to you? Is that okay? And what does that show the other person? It shows that what they're saying means a lot to you, which ultimately shows that they mean a lot to you. So that's a huge bridge builder right there. And also remember that it's the Spirit's job, the Holy Spirit's job, to open up someone's heart and to prepare them to hear what you have to say. That part is not your responsibility. So you should take some comfort in that too.
Yeah, and just being honest like that, saying, no, I'm sorry, I don't have the answer to that right now. That honesty is appealing because other sectors of the world say, I've got the answers for everything. When, in fact, they don't.
Yep.
And just being winsome. I mean, the Bible talks a lot about being winsome in your faith.
Absolutely. And I would also say, take some significant time to sit down and prayerfully consider the ways that God's worked in your own life. Come up with a running record, a journal or something of the ways that God has worked in your life that you cannot explain things other than it being from God. Because remember, our testimony is not just the ability to rattle off some scripture or point people to some cool books. No, it's like, here's my connection to all this. And even though I don't have all the answers, here's why I can't throw it all away either. Because if I throw that away, then I have to throw all this other stuff away that can only be explained by the presence of a loving God who is true to his word. Okay? Try to personalize it a little bit. And I mean, I hope I'm not overwhelming anybody with saying all this, but the reality is, if you want to increase your confidence to be able to talk to folks, this is a great way to do it. It really is.
You can subscribe, listen to, and share Real Answers and all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
Wise stewardship isn't just about managing money well. It's about revealing God's generosity to a world searching for true life. Hi, I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. When we handle money with wisdom and generosity, we reflect the heart of the one who provides. Every intentional choice, saving with purpose, giving with joy, living within our means, declares that our trust isn't in wealth, but in the God who owns it all. Jesus said in Matthew 5:16, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Faithful stewardship shines a light on God's character and invites others to the abundant life only He offers. Money becomes a testimony of His goodness and grace. We can help you learn to manage your money according to biblical principles when you download the free FaithFi app. You'll find it on our website at faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, how old were you when you flew an airplane? One boy's dreams come true after weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Cool air is in place now for the rest of the week, but dry conditions are expected. Our next chance of rain will come over the weekend, primarily Sunday and Sunday night with the approach of a windy front. Blustery, chilly, showery weather is then expected to follow early next week. But tonight will turn out mainly clear and chilly. Low temperatures, 30s and low 40s, will be areas of frost. Tomorrow and Friday, plenty of sunshine, crisp and cool. High temperatures tomorrow into the 50s and high temperatures Friday near 60. And again, about the weekend, milder. We'll have some sunshine for Saturday, increasing winds and developing rains and showers than expected during the day on Sunday.
All right, Kevin, finally at 5, Australian Byron Waller has seen a lot for a teenager. He started flying lessons at age 13. At 14, a bout with Crohn's disease landed him in the hospital, but only grounded him temporarily. It was in his hospital bed that he had a dream about flying around the world in a small plane. This week, that dream turned to reality.
And a big welcome home, Byron. Hooray!
He logged the 26,000-mile flight over 67 days alongside his flight instructor, a 39-leg journey across 19 countries. He tells 7 News Sydney seeing land below was a welcome sight.
Long flights over water especially, where when you look down there's just water.
Byron was 15 years old when he left, 16 when he landed home again, and despite his notable achievement for now, it's back to school and other typical teenage tasks.
I want to get my driver's learners.
Somehow we suspect he'll have little trouble passing his road test. His flight, though, may stand as a world record for the youngest pilot to fly around the world in a light aircraft. And that's the world that we live in for Wednesday, the 15th of October. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.